Everybody, welcome back to the adventures of Knut Holgersson. We'll see if he can get himself out of the scrape that he got himself in last time. Throwing some more fancy music from Tabletop Audio. They have a lot of good stuff. They have a lot of stuff on the Roll20 app too. The web page there. I use them for my Ironsworn group I've just recently started. A lot of good stuff. So where we were last time is the Knut had come across this withered, uh, cursed-looking man who was guarding something. He can't see what he's guarding, and the husk was getting ready to say something, and well, let's see what he was going to say. So we're going to head over to our oracles. And let's see, we'll go for I guess I think I'll go ahead and roll that. Let's see what it says. Okay, he wants to terrorize the exploration. All right, so he's obviously up to no good. Uh, he's there to terrorize the exploration. Uh, Maybe he's there to terrorize people who might be coming to explore this ruin. Let's see, where is it? The Crypt of Grey Sadness. Maybe he's there to terrorize. Um, is he is he related to the main quest, the between the Einherjar, or him searching for the Einherjar? I'm going to say it's unlikely. Okay. All right, so he is not directly related to the Einherjar. Is he the one causing the main issue, this guy here? Okay, he is. Because he seems pretty powerful, so I decided that would be like maybe a 50-50. So he may know something about the main quest, but he's not here in relation to it. And so when we left off, he was getting ready to say something, and I think since he's there to terrorize, he was going to say, um, "Now you die," something like that, which is not really what Knut wanted to hear, but uh, we'll go and add him into the fray. Husk. Now, Knut may be able to not have to fight it, but it doesn't. That's not looking good. Knut was not rolling well last time. Let's see how well he rolls today. Let's see. Knut has his asset of sided when you face danger or gather information to identify or detect mystic forces. Identify or detect mystic forces. Add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. He's going to focus on this creature and see if there's something that maybe lets him know there's something off in the dark that this husk is guarding. So I'm going to do a gather information move. Come on, it's up here. Okay, gather information. All right, when you search an area, blah, blah, blah. All right, and that's going to be on wits. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, and then he also gets a +1 because of his asset. So +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. So his move was the gather information. So he gets +1 from that and +2 momentum. So he gets a total of +3 momentum as he's watching this creature, and he knows that this creature is searching. You can see these tendrils, and one of the tendrils is kind of reaching out. This tendril of this aura, this magic that he can kind of see with his sighted ability. One is kind of wrapping itself or roiling and heading off into this darkness, the thing that he had looked at initially. And the other one is rolling towards Knut, and looks like it's heading towards the pouch where he's got that amulet. So let's see, is this amulet what this guy's here for? I'm not really sure, so I'm just going to go 50-50, 51 or higher. Okay, so he's not there for the amulet, but he's obviously trying to detect the amulet, and his eyes flare up as he says, "Now you die." So Knut really doesn't have much other choice. He's going to lunge forward with his staff and his torch, and see if he can get anything that way. Maybe he can knock the guy off balance and then run, but he's not exactly sure where he's at. So we're going to go to our moves and combat, enter the fray. And we're going to say he's moving into position. Well, okay, I guess it would just be roll versus heart because he's leaping forward. Okay, so 6, 6, 7. Nice. Anonymous, you begin at a disadvantage. Pay the price. The foe has initiative. So let's look and see what the guy does here. Okay, so he's got, let's see, disheartened with a dreadful howl, lash out with forbidden magic. Okay, so as Knut tries to lunge forward, the husk obviously sees right away what he's getting ready to plan, because Knut can't roll to save his life, apparently. But we will come over to our Oracle roller, and let's see what our combat actions are. See, I wish this one had the roller, because I do like rolling myself. But I will roll over here and then look it up. All right, 18 for combat action. As you can see, I've got my good friend there. He's my librarian. He's got the librarian. Combat action. $18. Intimidate or frighten. Okay, that's exactly what Knut did not want, because he's at 0 spirit. So it's like it's like a cosmic thing, man. So he's going to take a let's see, hit to his spirit. And he does not have any spirit left, so that's going to go against his momentum, his freshly earned momentum. So now he doesn't have any momentum anymore. That's going to be useful. And we'll head over to endure stress. Spirit or heart, whichever is greater. So in this case, heart is greater, which is still not really good for him. Okay, so a weak hit. Ooh, he presses on. He presses on as the husk uh, lets out this howl. Like apparently undead things just love to scream at Knut, and it tears at it, terrifies him. His eyes turn wide as this husk seems to be calling out forces from the depths of Niflheim and hurling them at him with his voice. Um, so let's see. Next thing Knut's gonna do is, geez, he really wants to run, but he doesn't know where he's at. Um, so he's going to, I guess he's going to clash. He's going to clash. He doesn't really have much else that's going to help him. Oh my gosh, he got a strong hit. All right, so on a strong hit, and so he's got initiative, so that's good. He leaps forward, and he's just going to try to he's jamming the spear. The thing is screaming at him, and he tries to jam the spear in his mouth, and he manages to get a good strike across the creature. Turns aside right before the spear goes through right through his face, but the the blade of the spear slashes deep across his shoulder and his neck. Were he a normal man, he'd probably be spouting blood, but he he just screams, and he takes. I'm going to take the. I'm going to take the harm. I'm going to add the harm. So we're going to head over here to our this guy here. So that's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can't burn momentum right now. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to follow up with a strike. Thrusts, and then he's going to shove the torch into the husk's face because that seems to help sometimes. Things, even undead things, don't like getting torches shoved in their faces, right? And look at that. Another strong hit. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. He retains the initiative. And does that give him momentum? Let me check. I don't think so. Retain initiative. Yeah, inflict +1 harm and retain initiative. Okay, so he gets the torch in the husk's face, and the husk is screaming, and he can feel the husk. He can see power starting to gather around the husk's hands, like he's drawing it from the darkness around them, and he's going to try to end the fight because I'm afraid he's going to lose his initiative. And he's going to go all out. He's going to grab that spear and just make an all or nothing stab into that thing's heart. All right. There's a turnaround. There's a progress move with a double, strong hit and a double. So let's see, what does that do? Ooh, I know. Um, Let me look up a husk real quick. Set you on pause here. Looking up the husk, I they try to. It seems like they try to trick, try to get people to go in deals with them, which was kind of what had expected. But yeah, with the terrorize, it just seemed to me like with the roles with the oracles that he was actually there uh, trying to get rid of people, not looking for people to trick. So um, he Knut runs his spear all the way through the or no, better yet, he runs his spear all the way through the husk's chest, and as he pierces where his heart should be, this black ichor comes oozing out, and Knut uses the leverage of the spear to force the thing down, and it's gasping and clawing, and he can see the aura around the husk, this creature, starting to fade, and the light in his eyes is starting to fade, and Knut pulls the spear out, and he just keeps jabbing it in and in and in again until the thing is stopped moving, and then he takes his torch and he lights it. He tries to light it on fire, and the rags and the old clothes and stuff that catches fairly easily. The body itself just kind of smolders, and this just fills the air with even a more sickening putrescence than was already there. And he's trying not to vomit as it is, and he tries to wipe the black stuff off his spear on the body, and then he kind of holds the spear tip over the torch to try to burn the stuff away. Now, this husk was guarding something, and Knut is going to, with this torch and his spear, he's going to go around. He's going to light up the area in front of him, and let's see what was there. So what was he guarding that was so important here? Okay, 35. I not pay the price. You know what? Let's use one of the delve. Let's use the delve charts, because I think we are delving. I haven't used those too much. All right. Okay, so it's let's see, a foul 59. Oh, a foul message. Oh, okay. All right. So he looks behind and looks into the darkness, and he sees these runes on the wall, and he can't read them, but this these voices start singing in the background, and this light starts swooshing towards him, and he realizes he's a dragonborn. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. He he looks, and he does see these runes. He can't understand them. They're written. They're not runes that he's used to. They're not the Futhark that he knows. But they're similar, but there's something dark about them. They they in fact they glow themselves. They have some kind of dark power, dark curse, and Knut is just not. He's not ready to. Um, he's not ready to head on. He doesn't want to get close. He doesn't want to examine them. Um, he's not interested in that at all. So he slowly backs away, makes sure that guy on the floor is still dead, and uh, let's see, since that guy was part of, let's see, I'm gonna say maybe this guy was the big problem. This guy had come down here looking for those runes, and him disturbing it was what had caused everything to happen. That seems right. So I'm going to come over to our quests, not quests. Well, we'll go to the delve. Delve first, and let's see. I'm going to give 1 for beating that guy, and I think I'm going to give another for the match, for the 44 on the beating him, on the opportunity. Should we push Knut's luck and see if that was actually the thing? It's got about a 50-50 chance, or does he have to do something else? Does he have to do something else? I'm going to push it. Okay. 1 and a 4, so that's a strong hit. Well, that's good. So if we do a delve and we locate the objective. What that does? What's that going to do? Oh, okay, that's just it finishing up. But it's actually a strong hit. He thinks it's the guy who actually was causing the trouble. He's not. He doesn't even really know how to do anything about the runes if he wanted to. He's no trollman. He's no sorcerer. But he knows that that's what that guy was after, and he knows that those runes have some kind of dark magic, so he can tell the Jarl, and the Jarl can figure out what he wants to do. Let's see what the locate the objective. Okay, on a strong hit, you locate your objective, and the situation favors you. Choose one. Make another move now. Okay. Take +1 momentum, or take the move now. Would that be an escape the depths? Is that what he needs to do when you flee? Or withdraw from a site? Not really. I'm going to go look that up and see what if that's actually fleeing or when you're done with the site. Okay, so that is the move once you've finished the delve that you roll to get out. So I can take +1 momentum, or I can roll with a +1 because I got that strong hit on the locate the objective. So I think I don't want to push my luck, so I'm going to take that +1 to this roll on the escape the depths. So he's going to drop his dice. We'll pick it up after he hits pause on the video, and he's going to try to work his way back through as best as he can. Because the place is wild, it's full of the animals. You can still smell all the den smells and the animal smells. And because there are so many animals and so much movement, it's not like he can really necessarily track his feet like through these dusty abandoned tunnels that haven't been traversed in a long time. So he's going to take a +1 and do his escape the depths. What will he do? Trace your steps or locate an alternate path. He doesn't really want to fight his way out if he can avoid it. So he's going to roll. He's going to use his wits and then +1 because he is going to try to get his way out, and he's going to stay on the lookout for the paths that animals have dug their way in. Maybe he can get out through one of those too. So let's see what we get here. Oh, another strong hit. Okay, so that battle, the night started off with a frustrating miss right off the bat, and then it's been going pretty well for him so far. After that, we'll hope that stays the same. Alright, so on a strong hit, you make your way out safely and take 1 momentum. I will take that. Okay, now his vows. What was his vow? There we go. Lift the curse. Nope. Return to Sonia. Delve the crypt of gray sadness. Okay. Okay. I haven't actually been. I've been forgetting to do that, and I'm just. I'm just gonna call that good because he was in. He just made it out, and that's what he went there to do. He found what he was looking for. So I'll bring that back up to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what it was. And then you say +1 because he did such a good job escaping. Let's see. Should I roll to fulfill the vow? All right, I'll fulfill the vow when he actually returns back to Odensborg and talks to the Jarl. And since he's pretty much killed all the bears on the trail, there, he makes it back camping, and after he comes out, he needs to rest. He needs to rest because his mind is shaking from the horrors that he felt and saw, and from the dark spirits that touched his soul. Trying to drag it down to hell or Niflheim or wherever these strange creatures get their power from here in the Arnheimer. So he's going to do a camp, I think. If he gets out, he's going to make a good distance away from that place, away from the gray sadness, and he's going to try to find a nice relaxing, beautiful glen that isn't filled with bears, and go from there. So that's going to be let's see, is it make camp? Let's see. Rest and recover for several hours in the wild. Rolls plus supply. On a weak hit, choose 1. Okay. Alright, so supply is 3. Yeah, that's pretty good. He doesn't want to spend too much time here because he does want to get back out, but it's been a long day. So let's see what his make camp does. Plus supply. Okay, 4, 5, and 6. So supply is 3, so that's a 7. So another strong hit. On a strong hit, you may each choose 2. So he's going to. Yeah. All right, he's going to. Yeah, wish there was one where he could take an extra spirit, but he will recuperate 1 for health and spirit. So after meditating on the beautiful, if cold and harsh, Ironlands that he's in, they are at least nicer than the hellhole that he just escaped. And so he spends a good night. He sees good omens in the stars as he's staring up at the night sky, trying to fall asleep next to his fire, trying to forget the terrors that are in his mind, and he eventually does get a good night's sleep. and he's off the next day. He's going to. I'm going to skip the. I'm going to skip the journey back, just because I don't. I don't really think it's necessary because he kind of cleared it out, and he's going to head back. And he gets back to Odensborg with uh, with no issue. And let's see, is there an issue? I don't know. Maybe I'll give him a roll here. No, okay. He gets back to Odensborg with no issue, and as he approaches the gates, he tries to straighten himself up. You know, he's still he's still kind of got the smell of the grave on him, as it were. But he wants to get back and it convince the Jarl, because as he's marching, he realizes he didn't grab any proof. He didn't grab the husk's skull. He should have grabbed the skull. Oh, if only he could be, would be. That's what he should have done. All right, where was I? He just got into town. He was remembering that he or should have brought that thing's head as proof. Um, let's see. He doesn't really want to go back and get it, but you know, too late. Should I allow him? No, he decided he didn't want to touch it. He tried to burn it, so he didn't want to touch that or anything. So he's just going to have to try to convince the Jarl, and that's kind of what's been on his mind as he's making this trek back. Somebody's going to have to convince the Jarl. Now, in the long run, of course, whatever that guy was doing should settle the region down, even though, you know, the place is still kind of haunted or whatever. But so he comes back. The guards welcome him in, and looking at his, you know, because they know what he was there. They know what he was off doing, and they look at his, because he left, you know, having been resupplied and everything, and they look and they see that he's now, you know, his stuff is all torn up and shredded again. Um, he's got two big bear skins, which will help him with something. Maybe he can use those as like gifts to the Jarl, maybe to help solidify his case if it comes to that. Let's see. I was going to look something up. What was I looking up? Can't remember. I guess I'll hit pause until I can remember. Oh yes, I was looking up the locations and the settlements. Let's see, nope, that's the crypt. Springtide, that's where he needs to go. Odensborg. That's what I was looking for. And in Odensborg, I was basically looking for the names because I forgot. Okay, Jarl Badvar Hradgersson. So Jarl Badvar and his Huskar Kol the Hazardous. That was actually the name I was trying to remember. So as he gets back, as he approaches a gate, there are warriors and Huskarls of the Jarl, and among them is Kol the Hazardous, and he's grinning because he can see how beat up, how battle tested Knut is, and so as Knut comes closer, Kol slaps him on the back and says, "Well, I don't know where you were, but it looks like you made a mess and you came back." So, and he escorts him to the long house, to the great hall, to get cleaned up and to make himself presentable. And he's going to Knut is going to walk in, and after getting some a quick meal and a couple horns of ale, he's going to launch into a story about. He's going to tell the tale once the Jarl takes his place, and he's going to tell the tale and explain of his heroics, and he's gonna, you know, he doesn't even really have to what's the word? Not lie, not extrapolate. Um, Exaggerate. There, he doesn't even have to exaggerate a lot of it because he was attacked by two giant bears, and then he was attacked by these things in the crypt. So he tells the tale as people are gathering to listen in, because everyone's heard of the troubles that were going there, and then they heard of his vow to go clean it up. So he's going to. Let's see. I'm going to give him a roll for, as he's trying to, not compel, I'm trying to persuade. Let's see, would it be compel? Trying to persuade someone. Um, or would it be secure an advantage, make preparations, or attain to gain leverage? I think that would probably be secure an advantage, because he's trying to he's trying to make things ready to convince the Jarl. He's not necessarily trying to compel the Jarl to do anything. He's just trying to convince him. Well, I guess you could probably use either one when you attempt to persuade someone to do something. So he's trying to persuade the Jarl to believe his story. So I guess you could use either one. I'm going to say it's secure an advantage though, because I don't think they don't have a relationship just yet. And he is trying to secure an advantage. He's attempting to gain leverage, and he's going to use his, let's see, expertise, insight. You know what? No, he's going to go full warrior. He's going to uh, tell his tale aggressively with strength. Perhaps it should make him do it with heart since he's trying to charm. Uh, but it just seems like he's going in as the warrior. So I'm gonna have him roll iron as he tries to secure an advantage as trying to complete his goals there. Okay, 2, 4. All right, so that's a weak hit. Okay, it's short-lived. Take 1 momentum. Uh, I'll take it. 1 momentum. So he takes his momentum. He tells the tale, and he tells it well enough that he's he has the crowd with him. They're cheering his tale, and he talks about the spirit that tried to reach into him, and as he's talking about setting the dark people alight and stabbing and setting and stabbing and adding a little bit of flair, a little bit of Viking flair as he's describing his battles, and but it is a weak hit, so not not exactly what he was hoping for. He doesn't completely he doesn't swing the Jarl completely, but I am going to give him a let's see, where are the vows? I'm going to get him a progress roll though, or a mark progress, because he's gotten back and he's convinced the Jarl, and he doesn't have proof, but he's he points out that the scouts or whomever have probably will notice quickly that the trouble has settled, and now it's going to be a progress move. If if it fails, then he either hasn't convinced the Jarl that he actually completed the vow, or it might be that there was something else that he might have to go back for. I'm not sure he's going to be up for doing that. All right, let's see. 7 and a 4. All right, so that's a weak hit. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, all right. So a weak hit on completing a vow. So he's probably going to need to. He's going to have to do something else. It's going to be a quest, fulfill a vow on a weak hit. Okay, there's more to be done, or you realize the truth of your quest. Envision what you discover, then mark experience. There's more to be done, or you realize the truth of your quest. Envision what you discover, then mark experience. Let's see. You may swear an iron vow to set things right. If you do, add +1. Hmm. All right, so the Jarl believes his tale, and he says, he looks to Knut and he says, I believe you. I see the fire in your story. I see the scars on your shield and on your flesh. But you left that creature no proof that he's slain. And you tell me that there are these dark magic runes. What's to keep another one of his kin from going into my lands again to cause more trouble? Now, Canute, he was expecting this. Let's see. He doesn't really want to go back in there at all. But vision what you discover. And what he's been thinking of is that maybe that magic amulet that he has uh, may do something. Um, so he's not going to go back. He's going to explain that the reason that he did not do anything with the runes is because he doesn't practice Sida. He doesn't know magic. He has no ability to do anything with those runes. But he pulls out his amulet, this crystal amulet, and even those who aren't sighted can kind of tell that there is some kind of power there. And he presents it to the Jarl, partly in hopes that the gift will allow the Jarl to not demand that he goes back to that haunted place, because he does not want to go back to that haunted place. His heart is still chilled from the dark things that he encountered there. So he kneels and he hands the amulet and says, I found this amulet nearby. It is magical. It has powers. You can sense it, can't you? If you have someone who knows magic, if you have someone who's able, if you have someone who's able to read those runes and maybe do something, this amulet will help them. I'm certain of it. The creature, that dark sorcerer, he was sensing it. It was important to him. So I give this to you so that if someone who knows those runes can go in and cast the spells aside. Otherwise, I can only suggest that you close up all the access and maybe place guards around to make sure no one else goes in. But I do not have the ability to deal with those magic runes. And the Jarl listens, and he takes the amulet, and it's obvious that he can feel there's something there, even though he's not sighted. But even if he can't feel the magic, just the quality, the workmanship of it is very impressive. And so the Jarl decides to take it, and we will mark experience for that, for completing that vow. We'll go over to our vows, and we'll fulfill. Okay, so that's good. And now we'll go over to our experience. Oh, what kind of vow was that? I forgot. I need to look that up. Great sadness, it was formidable. That was a formidable vow, so... Is that 3? Oh, okay, no. Formidable. 3. Well, it would be 3 if he had gotten a strong hit, but he did not. So he kind of weaseled out a little bit, so he doesn't get all of his Ironsworn. So he gets 2 for that. What does that arrow do? Oh, okay. That's how you spend it. Alright. Well, right now, he is not really in any great position to to go back, even if he wanted to. So, but he does get enough renown that I'm going to let him try to forge a bond with the Jarl, and not with the whole town necessarily, but with the Jarl. And there's a move to do, take a hiatus, but he's not sure that he can necessarily wait. Well, he's pretty beat up, so I think he probably will take a hiatus if he can get the, if he can make friends here. Alright, so if we do moves, let's just check on the take a hiatus. You spend an extended time recovering in a safe place while a threat is active. Do any of the following. I don't know that there's a threat active, and I don't know that he would really need a threat active to just take a hiatus. Clear marked conditions, set your health supply and companion to their max values, set your momentum to its reset value. Do any one of those following things. Okay, well first I'm going to try to, he's going to try to make a bond with the Jarl. Forge a bond. Not sure, the Jarl's kind of a hard ass, but it's good to have a Jarl as a friend. Let's see, when you spend significant time with personal community, okay, actually, I guess he probably would take the hiatus first, but I guess it's immaterial which one you roll. You spend significant time with personal community, stand together and face hardships, or make sacrifices for their cause, which he definitely did. You have to create a bond. Roll plus heart. If you make this move after you successfully fulfill your vow to their benefit, you may re-roll any dice. Okay, well, I'm going to say that even though it was a weak hit, it did successfully do it. So I can re-roll any dice. Okay, well, let's see. Heart's not his best. 4 and a 2 and an 8. Okay. Alright, on a weak hit, even if I added more, it wouldn't be able to get up to that 8. So on a weak hit, they ask something more of you. Envision what it is, do it, and mark the bond. If you refuse or fail, pay the price. Alright, so he's going to allow them to take the hiatus, just partly because it's the he did do good for him, and he mostly completed the task that vow that he had set forth. So I'm going to reset his stuff. as he recovers and uh, gifts and trades his bear skins away to replenish his stuff. He'll turn into a cloak, into a nice cloak. He's got to keep one. I mean, he killed a huge bear, so he's keeping one. He's turning it into a big cloak with the head that flips over on top. He's got to keep that, at least one of those. And the other he will also gift to the Jarl, who in return gifts him basic provisions and a place in his hull to rest and recuperate. But before he gets the bond, he needs to do something else. Let's see wait a second. I needed to I had ability to re-roll a die. Let's see. I don't remember what I'd actually rolled. Let's see, that was a move, and what was it that allowed me to re-roll that? It was Forge a Bond. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay. You may re-roll any dice. Well, I know I rolled an 8. I think I got a 4, so I'm going to re-roll that. I'm going to re-roll that 8. Oh, look at that. Okay, so sorry, let's rewind that. Okay. Now, strong hit, I actually get the note, I get the bond, mark it as a tick, so let me put that on my character sheet. Okay, I'm glad I remembered that. And go do the Jarl's laundry for a month before I can mark him as a bond or something. Okay, bonds. Where are my bonds at? Okay, so I'm going to mark him as a bond, and if I mark, let's see, make a bond. I do kind of like having both that I can look at, like I say on one page. Okay, draw a circle, forge a bond. Mark a tick on your bond progress track, and choose 1 plus 2 momentum. I'll take me momentum. R. And okay, so I added him into our NPCs, and I assigned him to Odensborg, and I basically just all the stuff I cut and paste from his description from the settlement generator, the character description there. So he's good, and I marked that we had a bond, and as I head back over to stats, yep, all right, so it added that NPC. That's the bonds I was thinking of, and then when you click on it, it should add, okay, so it added the bond there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that might be off. Probably from something I did earlier, but that's all right. I'm just going to leave it for now because I'm not going to dig into it. So he spends his time with the Jarl, getting to be good drinking buddies and swapping tales, and the Jarl has come to enjoy the tales of Knut's father Holgersson, and so they sit around, and Knut's fame and reputation grows within the community, because he is he's one of the Jarl's. Not officially, he has not sworn fealty to him, but he is one of he's someone that the Jarl is showing respect to, thus everyone else shows respect to Knut for now. But the next step is that Knut still has to find, he's there for the for that other for the vulva of the town. What's her name? Randvig's sweet daughter. He's there for her. He needs to find out about that. And as the I'm going to say that there's a likely chance that the Jarl, being demanding and everything that he is, and having a bond, you know, the bond works both ways. He's going to suggest the possibility that maybe Knut could lead Randvig back to the Crypt of Grey Sadness, because she is a Volva. She knows, she may not know the runes, but she knows rituals to drive off evil spirits and stuff. I'm going to say it's likely that that he's going to suggest that. He's not going to make it a demand at this point, and he's not going to try to get a vow yet. But it's going to be something that comes up, because that whole thing about the haunted runes in the crypt is it's kind of bothering the Jarl. So let's see. It's likely. Oh, okay. So no. So he doesn't. He completely. He doesn't actually care about those. He thinks that between the that that Knut's done his due diligence. Now that they've got a bond and that they're pals, he's kind of forgot the whole thing, and maybe later on he'll go. But the now they're waiting for Randvig, the Sleuth's daughter, and does she return? Let's say 50-50. Does she return in the time that Knut is recuperating? Or, yeah, if not, let's say that he has to go, maybe go figure out what happens. Maybe a messenger comes. Let's see. 51 or higher, and she returns normally. Okay, 47. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that. Let's turn it to 47. Okay, so she, by the time, has not shown up, and the Jarl is starting to worry a little bit. He's sending out, you know, he's occasionally sending out scouts to see if they can find word of her returning, and none of them over the next several days see her returning, and the Jarl turns to his newest friend and says, "Will you go and see what has happened to Randvig? You do, after all, want to see her anyway, yes?" Well, yes, I do, Jarl. "Then vow to me that you will go and check on her, make sure that she's safe, and escort her safely here when her work is done. Will you vow this to me, my friend Knut Holgersson?" "Yes, yes, I will, Jarl." Knut realizes he's kind of stayed he's overstayed his time. It's time to move on. So he's going to make a vow. And I'm going to pause while I type that, because this recorder doesn't like me typing. So, be right really back. Sure what the difficulty will be, because she's missing. It could be something bad. So I'm just gonna go with the Oracle to roll up a random difficulty level like that. Okay, I'm gonna look it up in my paper so I can use my real fancy blood covered. I don't know if you can see that. Blood covered dice. Challenge rank 31. Dangerous. Okay, that seems reasonable. So something has definitely happened. I would say if it were a simple task, then it would just be troublesome. But there is something afoot. So, let's see. All right, so we'll add that vow. And as the Jarl takes down the city, the oath ring, the steel oath ring, and Knut places his hand on it. The hall grows quiet as someone is making an iron vow. And do you, Knut Holgersson, vow to rescue my Volva and bring her back? Reinvig, and bring her back. And he says yes. Now let's see. Let's see if he can get a decent roll here. Quest. Swear an iron vow. That's that heart again. When you swear to complete a quest, write a vow, and then, okay, if you make the vow to a person or community with you, which you share a bond, add +1. Okay, so he gets a +1 to his roll here. Okay. On a weak hit, you're determined, but begin your quest with more questions and answers. Take 1 momentum and envision what you do to find a path forward. Okay, so that's I'll take a momentum. That's good. And what he needs to do, obviously, is head out on a journey to Springtide, which is where where Reinvig is supposed to be. So I'm going to make a journey, travel to Springtide, and I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that as troublesome because it's not very far. It's not very far. It may turn into a longer quest after that. It may it may turn into a bigger problem after that. Let's see. So I'll add that journey down there. Oh, additional details. I'm going to find Reinvig. And let's see. Yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it right there. He packs up. He gets his stuff ready. He's sharpening his sacks in the hall, and is sharpening Hilda, his father's spearhead, which is a popular topic of conversation, as all the drinking warriors, as they hear the Thane's stories about his own exploits and his father's. And we'll pick up next time as he starts on his journey to Springtide. I appreciate you guys listening and following along. I am having fun, even if even if I seem a little frustrated sometimes at the dice rolls. But it's good. I like this. I like this, and I like making these videos. That's kind of fun too. Thanks for stopping by. Happy gaming. We'll see you next time.